This NFL Divisional Playoff Props edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code SGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash.
Hey, this is Pac-Man Jones. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
The Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Happy Thursday, Sean.
Happy Thursday, aka Thirsty Thursday, and hopefully you're thirsty for some thirst quenching props. Joining us here in studio to talk all things NFL props. You know him, you love him, the man in the box, aka CJ Sullivan. What's happening, CJ?
What's up, fellas? Good to be back in the studio. The three of us back returning at the time, to prison.
Healthy.
Yeah, healthy, safe. I know you guys took extra time to do victory laps from your wild card victories that you keep bringing up and rubbing in everyone's face.
That's Ryan.
The sharpest weekend of my career.
That's right.
It's a quote I heard.
Back-to-back wild card weekends, right?
Fantastic.
Absolutely bent over the slate. And if not for Baker Mayfield, my God.
Of course, if you're not on X following CJ Sullivan or the Instagram, you're missing out. He just dropped a nice, what would you call that? A mini-sode?
Yeah, it's like the Dune of online comedy videos. It's 3.5 minutes, and that in today's world, that might as well be War and Peace.
Sketch about
right.
Dom, aka the Dom PI. Electric intro, very funny sketch. So make sure you check that out.
You know what it is? I did the Big Dom when it first came out, obviously with the San Francisco Greenlaw thing, and that was a fun video, and people liked it. So now, anytime Big Dom's in the news, people text me up and be like, "Oh, you gotta do a Big Dom video.
Yeah.
You gotta do this Big Dom thing. Oh my God, Big Dom just found an Eagle fan. You gotta do." That did interest me though. How
you do a good Big Dom.
Thank you, and I like it. I like doing Big Dom. He's fun to do, and but. The fact that that Eagles fan was like missing and the Big Dom found him, I'm like, what investigation, what facial recognition is Big Dom doing? Like, I'm the bet detective. He's Big Dom PI, so that interested me right there. And from there, it just went to what it was.
Yeah, no, very fun watch. Make sure you check that out. Yeah. Big Dom tracked down the rude Eagles fan, possibly a setup. An inside job.
Whatever.
Anyone who wears a wire, I immediately don't trust their side.
And it's Philly accent from behind the camera too. You ever hear that? Like, it's ridiculous.
There's a lot. The truth is out there. We're going to track it down. Chat is lit. Shout out to the chat.
Yeah.
And I posted the link to that video. If you want to go check it out. So
please watch
it. It's in the pinned comment. Above or below. I'm not sure which way you.
Please check it out. It can be after the show. Whatever. Check it out. I did 20 straight hours of editing. It's not a. It's a young man's game editing.
CJ stayed up all night, making sure he got that edited. Jay Beasy in the chat saying, "Is Big Dom in charge of taking care of AJ's book?" Yes, Dom actually has the bookmarker on the pages. Make sure and AJ doesn't get lost, and make sure he stays literally on the same page there on the sideline.
What an amazing gift AJ gave, not only for that author, but for 500,000 illiterate people in Philadelphia who finally got a book sent to them by Amazon.
Where are all these copies of this book going to end up?
With the Eagles 2024-2025 Super Bowl champion shirts, maybe.
I would definitely
in some
if there is
underprivileged town over in
Africa. If there is a parade, Ryan, I will definitely be carrying my dog-eared copy of Achievement and Excellence.
I see you both talking about two different things, which I enjoy. That's why I love the dynamic between you two is the subtlety, the digs.
Ryan was trying to throw, say, oh, they're going to give them away like they do to those third world countries when your team doesn't win a championship.
I left it open ended. offended.
I
Again, you're projecting.
I will say underprivileged. Yeah, you might know. Conshohocken might be underprivileged. Who knows what's underprivileged?
I love the sound of Conshohocken. I heard you say
great
it.
pronunciation.
It's a great East Coast name.
And it's not an underprivileged town, but it's fun to say. Is right.
Just like the native sounds that they made out here on the West Coast compared to the native sounds they made on the East Coast, very different.
And I don't want to put it out there. And I know there's stupid rumors about AJ Brown going to New England with Vrabel and him being a diva. But if something happens where AJ Brown does turn his back on the Philly fans, those books will be burned. I feel bad for that author. Like, you're tied in with AJ. You're tied in with AJ now.
Those reviews of the book are going to change if things ended poorly for AJ in Philadelphia.
I think to a man, most Eagles fans are really probably having a hard, like the ones that are doing what Sean's doing and fully leaning into this being a good thing, and how, he totally is accepting of this kind of behavior. It's just so hilarious.
Well, we're a select.
And I think to a man, they're all going to have regrets when AJ Brown's no longer on the team. They're going to have a different tune. They're going to have a different opinion on AJ Brown and his petulant, spoiled
why is
brat
AJ
behavior.
Brown going anywhere?
Well, we have
the only place he's going is the end zone in this Sunday.
Because him and Jalen Hurts broke up.
Okay.
This is what I'll say about the book. We're a team of personalities. We're a rock star team. We're kind of we're in, not like the 93 Bulls, but very, very kind of similar to it. The 96 Bulls, just characters, and we're a worldwide team. We're very famous. When I was at the Rams Chargers game, not only are just random Eagle fans, but they're selling Eagle stuff because they're sold everywhere, which I kind of don't like. I don't like where we're coming like Cowboys out, but that's how big we are. So yeah, you're gonna have a guy reading a book. You're gonna have a Dennis Rodman taking his shoes off.
Yes.
A lot of personalities you got to deal with.
And I'm fine with yes, but please don't sit there and pretend like it's not a petulant baby personality that you're dealing with. I get it. Those people, they burn hot. That's why you deal with them as divas at times. But don't act like he's not that. That's my issue with Eagles fans projecting through Sean.
My thing is, if the locker room is cool with it, if the coaches are cool with it, if his teammates are defending him, then I think it's fine.
But you know more ball than to look through that. That's just good teammate behavior.
Yes.
But
so,
no. The teammates not throwing AJ Brown under the bus is them understanding the situation.
No, they went out of their way to defend AJ Brown. That's different.
Right.
But it's because they understand the pecking order and the food chain, and they understand what good team chemistry is, and that's supporting your teammate no matter what.
So there's good team chemistry, what. And that's great.
But I bet you all of those guys, if they were anonymous, would say they wish that AJ Brown wouldn't act like this.
But he did read it when he had like 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. I want to say, what's the difference? Why is that childlike and Mac Hollins is something you support fully? Who comes in barefoot in the snow and does his eccentricities?
He was wearing
he
was dressed
danger.
up like a water buffalo
Fred
from
Flintstone,
the Fred Flintstone. I like
Mac Hollins too, for sure. But I'm saying, like, what's the difference?
Because Mac Hollins would prefer to not be about him. Whereas,
come on, that is crazy.
He's the guy who rides a bike.
He's delusional. To a point where I don't believe that he's trying to make a publicity stunt.
He comes in to the Bills facility dressed as Fred Flintstone. That's
weird as fuck. He doesn't like utensils one is desperately an attempt to cry for attention, and the other is to be a fucking weird dude who walks by his own.
No, I'll say. Well, this is what I'll say, and I don't
think they're even.
I disagree with you there because I think, like, I'll give Matt Collins benefit of doubt that he's an aloof character that does the thing barefoot, but I can also give the same benefit of doubt to AJ Brown reading like a philosophy book trying to get his mind right.
Yeah,
But
one person's behavior is detrimental to the team, the others is not.
Which one?
What do you mean? Which one?
How is
changing your profile picture when you don't get enough catches? That's obviously not something you would love to have in your locker room.
Okay, but how? But if
Mac Hollins being eccentric and being
if the locker room's okay with it and the locker room chemistry is good, and they're winning, how is it detrimental?
I'm just saying the public image of good teammates are not going to make it seem like there's a problem.
Okay.
After the season is when we find out about that stuff, especially if the said player is no longer on the team.
True.
Okay.
And I'm just saying that there's no way you would prefer to have this type of shit going on. That's all.
I want AJ Brown to be happy and productive. And if that means him doing his thing on the sideline, I'm totally fine.
You sound like, everyone else on the roster just wants to keep AJ Brown happy.
Yeah.
We don't like when he throws a tantrum. Keep him happy.
I don't think that's throwing a tantrum though.
Walk on eggshells around AJ.
Yeah, I just didn't think the book was a problem.
No.
it's unique that got caught on camera.
Yeah, like everyone said, they brought up photos of him doing it the entire season.
Oh, I'll concede that 100%.
How long does it take him to read that book, bro?
But also, yeah,
It's like LeBron. He reads the first page.
but also like
we're on week 19 here.
I do contend that he has a lot of hours in his week that
100%.
aren't the hours that he's playing professional football. That's all.
Ryan, we're going to be talking about
Yes.
some TDs, some props. Here's the plan. We got one prop from each game. Then we hit you with our some playoff leaders market, and then close it out with the Degen only prop.
You know I'm a degenerate.
And of course, you can get the playoff leaders over at DraftKings, and you can get the TDs over on DraftKings as well. Of course, playoffs in full swing over at DraftKings, official sports betting partner of the National Football League. Ready to get down, get in on the action. I'm seeing right now over on DraftKings Sportsbook that most receiving yards for Sunday, Dallas Goedert, as CJ likes to pronounce the full French pronunciation. Dallas Goedert, 25-1. Him getting loose. I'm been seeing all the stats about the Rams week against the tight end. We'll fully discuss that later. But new DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SGP. That's code SGP for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 162 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Kramer, what's your first prop?
Crushed it.
Yes, fantastic. By the way,
Thank you.
All right, so we'll go in chronological order.
Sure, that's how I have mine listed.
and real quick, I'd like to just jump in real quick. I mispronounce a lot of names. It's kind of my thing almost. I get it from my dad, who would always
Back off.
he would tell me to watch that Jerry Seinfeld, to get some tips in comedy, things of that nature. I think Goedert is one of my better ones.
Oh, yes. I like Goedert.
At least you can see an avenue where I got there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, he could be.
Alshon Jeffries was my always. It's like a Philly thing. I don't know what it is. McCafferty adding extra consonants, but the pluralizing guys whose last name is not plural is Christian McCaffrey's. I've heard my dad
for
say.
sure, absolutely.
Kramer, what do you got?
Well, I told you earlier in the week that due to the fact that we had a conversation about it, people reached out via DM, and so there was just too much vibe and feeling towards a certain action that I couldn't make it the first prop on the show, and that was, hey Ryan, it's gonna happen. Tim Patrick to score a touchdown in the playoff game. Just fire on it. It's plus 380, Sean.
So wait, are we doing in order? Because the Texans.
Oh, I'm
Chiefs are
sorry.
first.
Shit. Let me start with.
That takes,
No, if you want to start with that game, that's fine.
that takes prominence. I like that.
No. But
Get that out.
I
there.
blew it. Yeah, you're right. No, it is the first thing because I put a calendar item like 3 months ago that
Ryan's
said.
not letting this one slip by.
It's good because
that.
some of us have 4-1.
Yeah.
So get it now. 380 currently.
Love it.
Tim Patrick anytime touchdown.
Now, are you also?
Because of the vibes.
Are we going to, and of course, we'll be giving out more touchdown props on our VSiN show, 11 o'clock East. CJ will give out more stuff, I'm sure, as well. But Ryan, are you also playing first? Are you also playing multiple?
Yeah,
I mean,
obviously,
Tim Patrick, 2 touchdowns, got us paid. Probably our biggest prop hit of the season.
Yeah.
we'll play all of it.
Okay.
We'll play all of it. I have not even looked at what the 2 touchdown because that's not what the reminder told me to do. It's 42-1.
Oh, okay. So we crushed it at like 60-ish to 1 when that first happened earlier in the year. CJ, what do you like in that Commanders Lions matchup? What's your favorite prop?
The Commanders lying, so we are jumping over.
Well, not yet, 'cause
All right.
I broke it.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
That's
well,
all right. We can improvise.
No, that's fine. I mean,
Oh boy, CJ's not happy.
listen. I got A through D in all these games.
Oh yeah,
No worries.
He
about
said,
me.
CJ,
choose your own
yeah.
adventure." Over here.
Absolutely right. I mean, I'm trying to think which one I want to go to. I like two of Jaden Daniels' props. To be honest with you, I'll go with the passing yards. It's at 232 versus Detroit secondary. He did not look rattled at all last week at Tampa Bay. He looked very established. I think he's going to run as well, obviously, but those numbers are really out of hand.
They really jacked him up through high help.
The attempts is 10.5, which
crazy.
I mean, he had 13 last week, but
and I was like, oh, I'll pull one over on DraftKings. Right. I'll just go to him to lead Saturday rushing yards. They're all over because that's like plus 425. He's the second. Yeah. He's the second guy to lead the rushing for Saturday. So there's not a lot of value on the Jaden Daniels rushing yards, even though I think he's going to have a good game. I agree with you. I think attacking the pass stuff is fun because there's a bunch of ways that gets home.
I mean, game script. You have just the way just the way it is, the 55 total, and just how good he looks. I mean, against that absolutely beat up Detroit secondary and defense all in general. So it was 225, shot up to 232. I don't care. I think he goes over 260 at least.
Easy in the chat, who is our Lions insider. Yes. He likes the Ertz receiving yards. He thinks they're going to spy Daniels, keep him from killing us. That opens up tight end for a good day. I'm going to kind of add on top of that. I'm always good for a Zach Ertz prop, but I'll actually go to Austin Eckler. I'm going to take Austin Eckler over 24.5 receiving yards.
I like that.
I think, to your point, like maybe they spy him. I think that if you're spying a quarterback, that makes it tough to cover the running backs and the tight ends with that linebacker. And to your point, like, to Easy's point, if he's just standing there watching the run, how do you beat it? You beat it with the screen, and you beat it with the tight end stuff. And Eckler could get that just in a normal game script. If they're getting blown out, obviously that opens up like the easy garbage check down stuff. So I think there's a lot of ways he gets home. Austin Eckler over 24.5 receiving yards. Kramer, what's
I'll go back in time.
Yes. Travel back in time. So Texans, Chiefs. What are we doing?
CJ was mentioning his A through D.
Yeah.
I have an A through E on this one. And we did, on a previous episode, discuss the CJ Stroud interception. So I'll put that to the side, which, by the way, it's minus 140 right now. Okay. So yeah, you got to pay a little bit to get that one. And, I considered having some fades of a Mixon involved, because it does sound like there's at least more than average veteran rest being given to a guy. But no, let's just say Chalky. Kelsey's number is 51.5, Sean.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the anytime's interesting. Stay tuned later in the show. I will be using it for something. 51.5 yards. Do you like that? Like if mortal lock, you put a full like NFL side bet on a prop. Do you take the yards or the anytime touchdown plus 160?
I take the anytime touchdown.
Then
just for me,
ship it,
because
I'll take it then.
I think there's
the plus 160 is why.
Yeah, and well, yes,
but no, I'm saying
no, but I think the
likelihood is.
I think
similar.
It's kind of close.
Yes,
there's a world where, and we discussed that the parlay that Rosenberg sent us, that under 5.5 catches, 2 touchdowns for Kelsey.
Okay,
little reverse correlation. No, and I
official think, anytime touchdown plus 160. Travis Kelsey.
I like both.
I'm using it twice now.
I like both tight ends in this game. I like Kelsey. And on the other side, I also like Dalton Schultz, Ryan. We talked about maybe putting an FFPC lineup where you have Dalton Schultz. Of course,
340.
340 anytime, definitely. I also like the yards, so I'll keep it simple here and just give out the receiving yards over 38.5. Casey gives up the most receiving yards to the tight end. He had a very good game last time they played, including a touchdown. I think he's good for a touchdown. I think he's good for the receiving yards. However you want to play it. And I like both tight ends in this game. Stay tuned for I'm a degenerate way to get down on them as we close things out. But yeah, Schultz, it's obvious it's Chalky, but that's how this season's been going. I'm not gonna not play a tight end against the Chiefs. CJ, what do you like?
Love Schultz,
right? I mean, how do you not?
Right. It's fantastic. There's a lot.
And especially if Mixon's on 100%, 2, the Chiefs are great against the run. Like maybe Nico Collins gets something going. And then again, going back to like the garbage stuff, if Chiefs are up ahead, them letting some easy stuff over the middle, dink and dunk. There's a lot of ways. It's
I think tight ends are a big divisional round as well. Anyway,
yeah,
quarterbacks, you'd like to rely on them. So, you went Schultz over yards.
Yep.
And both. And you're asking me who do I like in the Houston, Kansas City? You're asking me what prop I like.
Yes.
In a Houston Texans game. I'm going to do a prop that's only 15-3 this year, and that is Kymie Fairbairn.
I really fell for it. I'm like, what is CJ building up to? I totally forgot.
I know it's easy to forget, and the books forgot too because of mybookie.ag. It's only -125 for over 1.5 field goals made for the best kicker in football in a tight game with the totals 40, 39.
Yeah, no, and especially if it's. I would not go too crazy. Pick your spots because it could be cold and
sure.
No.
Hey,
but I think that kind of helps.
Doubt the apostrophe all you want. Listen, there's 40 letters in his name. He comes with soldiers. He's ready. He's a family unit out there. I'm already looking at DraftKings. It's already up to -150. I already hit it at 125. But either way, I like it at 150. I mean, do I have to say that again? 15-3 on the season. Fairbairn over 1.5 field goals made. That's the brand. People come after me. I have no problem having an apostrophe brand.
See, Kramer, what are you doing?
Well, you got to respect it. It's 15-3. Don't get mad. Just start betting them.
Yeah.
Don't be upset
don't get mad that the Chiefs are going to get some bullshit call that's going to help them win the game. Just bet the Chiefs.
Look,
stop beating yourself up.
I was hanging out with a friend at a cheese wine bar situation in West Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And the gentleman next to us, who we were not there with, bought me a drink. Now, I didn't really expect to be bought a drink from this gentleman, but I accepted it and I drank the drink.
You're a gentleman.
That's the kicking prop. Just figure out when it's okay
just
to
accept it. Make
accept
it work
a
for
drink
you.
for a dude.
It's bad luck not to. Crying out loud.
I mean, basically, it's the opposite of a $50
And what I love
bill.
about it, you're thinking like, oh, it's a big spread. Maybe they're going to want touchdowns being against Chiefs. Not with Morris. I mean, not with this coaching staff. What they do in this offense, they do not care.
Nothing. Give me that field.
They're getting that 3.
All right, man, I have so many options for the Eagles game. A lot of them start with the word Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Would you like a over or an under? This is got to put you in a perplexing situation.
Well, the under could be good if it's under interceptions. Or it could be a trap. I could see it going a lot of ways. I'll bite on the over, Ryan. What is your Jalen Hurts over?
Mortal lock, Jalen Hurts over 37.5 rushing yards.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
The longest rush is 11.5. That's interesting. The attempts I stayed away from because I do think there's going to be a couple longer ones in there with the way the Rams play defense. If you're wondering, the anytime is -115, Sean, and the under I would play is the under on completions.
Wow, I like that. I like both of those. And the way, like you said, the way Rams played defense. I mean, obviously the 9 sacks was insane. A lot of that was Darnold. Like, hey, do you guys want to come sack me? I'm like,
yeah.
Did you see Darnold was responsible for 7 of the 9 sacks?
Did you hear there was a clip going on social of the Vikings broadcaster going, throw it, my God, man. Throw the ball.
Paul Allen's the best.
He's a great radio announcer.
But also, they're a young, athletic defensive line, the Rams, who haven't done that all year, and they do not keep lane integrity. There was a lot, and they were saying, and Aikman was saying that if Darnold just steps up like 3 steps, he could take off for 6. He could do a lot of things.
Well, he goes, he's running in the pocket instead of sliding, and you could tell it was like, and then he. As a guy who I feel like I'm always trying to watch the quarterback's legs, the feet. You can tell if they're calm, if it's easy steps, if they're chopping their feet when they don't need to, if they're like what Darnold was doing, running inside the pocket is a massive red flag.
I'll say all the announcers were on one that night. I know you guys talked about the Manning brothers and the sponsorship was.
So great.
But Buck even threw a good line out there when Minnesota was running the ball in the 4th quarter, and because they are aware they're down 3 touchdowns, right? Like they can see the scoreboard, right?
It was insane. It was insane that they were trying to. Felt like they were trying to run the clock out. Like Tomlin,
they quit.
Tomlin had that a couple times towards the end of the season, second half, and I don't know what Minnesota was doing, especially when you have a guy like Justin Jefferson. Just chuck it up to him deep.
Yeah, 100%.
Try. I don't get it. Moon off the machine Manji checking in from the Propcast.
Yes.
Get that.
Oh, hello, Muno.
For free wherever you get your props and podcasts. He likes Gibbs longest rush over 18.5 yards, Barkley over 21.5 rushing attempts, and Lamar under 221.5 passing yards.
What about the commie? Moon off. Isn't the Texans his team?
Yeah, no, maybe he doesn't like any Texans props. So, but yeah, toss a couple of those
Texas
in.
Fan. He's
Fair enough.
He's not a real Texas.
Is this a big
fan.
cat situation?
Oh yeah, maybe he. Well, his first
Did he
team.
grew up a Jags fan behind enemy lines.
An old,
Moon off.
Mark Brunell jersey he's got in college.
Moonoff is randomly also a Red Sox fan, so he's he's got a
Skeletons in that man's closet.
that's a suspect background, but all right.
he's got a multi-layered fandom. CJ, what are you doing in this Eagles-Rams game?
Eagles-Rams game. This is kind of hurts me to do it, but I will do it, and I have no problem doing it.
That's a good pun.
Yeah. It is an under, and I don't even like playing unders, obviously.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Right. And this is a man who I've been on since rookie year. He's part of the White Angle releases. He's one of my angels that I've helped develop and grow. And he seems like his time is almost done. That's Cooper Kupp.
Oh, wow.
His total is 40.5 yards, which is pretty high. Here's his last 6 games. He had 29 yards on 1 catch and 1 target last week, that one bailout play. The week before, he had 29 yards on 1 catch. The week before, he had 24 yards on 3 catches. The week before that, he had 0 catches on 0 yards, 0 catches, 3 targets. Popped the 92-yarder in there, and then 17 before that.
Yeah, no, and even that 29-yarder, that was kind of like a little bit of a broken play where Stafford just chucked it up.
Yeah.
And obviously Eagles great secondary.
Well, that was the other thing, and this is the white on angle. Cooper on Cooper crime, Cooper Degen, Cooper Kupp. I mean, this is a beautiful thing that's going to happen here.
Well, and it was white receivers could be his weakness because the one guy Cooper Degen said is
welcome to your NFL moment.
Welcome to the NFL moment was trying to guard Adam Thielen. Which is funny because they played like Jamar Chase.
Right,
they played
because they know their own tricks. That's why.
White on white crime. Yeah,
That's
I overall Cooper Kupp's been a great story. I was on his over receiving yards last week. I thought there was going to be a hey, we're kind of saving this guy for the playoffs. Then we're going to let him loose. But there wasn't that at all. The Rams defense in the second half wasn't that good.
You know what it seems like? It seems like every single game Puka is doing the Terrell Owens on Jerry Rice day, where he's like, I'm just going to get 25 catches today, and you're getting nothing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every single game. Like Puka's just a monster target share, you know?
He is. And Quignon's gonna have his hands full. They did a pretty good job on him last time. He did. I think he got a touchdown in garbage time late there. But
plus you got the snow. This is a complete different game. Stafford and conditions. I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah, Stafford. You look at his stuff. It's been horrible in cold weather. Not good in rain, snow, whatever it is. He's a domie, and I don't expect him to show up. I like I was debating going rushing yards for Hurts over or this gentleman Kramer gave out the rushing yards for Hurts. I'll co-sign that one, but yeah, Dallas Goedert over 36.5 receiving yards. Rams have really been falling off against the tight end. Minnesota had a combined 97 yards to the tight end position. Now some of it was Oliver, some of it was Munt. Eagles for the most part, it's just going to be going all through Goedert. And maybe Calcaterra gets 1 catch, but that's a bit of a stretch. So I think he's going to get that over the middle type stuff. And yeah, I would imagine if I'm the Rams, they're going to do everything they can to try and slow down Saquon Barkley. Which, to Ryan's point, when he's talking about the Hurts rushing stuff, I think this works 2 ways. One, they're going to pass more, and Hurts has been conservative. I think probably a little too conservative, but that means if people aren't open, he's just going to tuck it and run, which he's good at doing and will keep the chains moving. But then also they run a ton of those read options. If the Rams are going out of their way to play Barkley and that is their keys, like, hey, key on Barkley, go after Barkley on these read option stuff. That's going to make it even awesome. Like Hurts is going to have a couple plays where he busts wide open because they're trying to crash and stop Barkley. So I like Goedert. maybe there's also a case of a squeaky wheel with AJ Brown.
No,
but maybe he's just maybe he just reads a little bit more.
That's actually the name of a children's book. The squeaky wheel that he's reading on the.
I was going to say,
unrelated to the book. Yeah. He only had one catch. He kept if he wanted more catches, never became public knowledge, and he addressed it possibly behind the scenes. So.
Well, and he did to his own person. He threw some great blocks, and he was happy about those blocks.
Most automobiles operate better when they're squeaky. The grease actually, contrary to popular belief, it's actually good when metal rubs against metal.
A little friction.
Lubing it up is a bad
just
thing.
like our show. A little friction, good for the show. Kramer, what do you got for your last prop of division round?
Riding the donkey through town. Josh Allen, anytime touchdown. It's plus odds, Sean.
Really?
It's plus odds.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, he did not score last week, so he's due.
Plus 105.
That's great. That's a great play.
Yeah, Josh Allen rushing attempts is always tempting for Josh Allen in the playoffs, especially in a game where you expect it to be a little closer.
Just give me the touchdowns.
Yeah.
I think I'm not worried about points. I mean, I think this game could be lower scoring than the total suggests, but I'm not worried about there not being points.
Right.
Ryan and Angle, we played a bunch this season, and even with Matt Milano back, I'm not scared to go back to this well. Give me Justice Hill over 34.5 receiving yards. Bills linebackers struggle with that kind of stuff. He had 78 receiving yards, Justice Hill, the last time they played. Maybe they get Zay Flowers back. I'm sure they're going to try and run, but
I have an anecdotal thing to throw at you.
Sure.
That you might agree with. Lamar is not good at the check down in the cold. There's something about the restrictiveness of the wetsuit. It's harder for him to throw those short passes. I have no data to even back that up, but I feel like my eyes.
The visuals of him in the cold looks like he's not comfortable.
It's just like, there's a backward pass.
I'll just say that.
Well, also too, as a quarterback, whenever they put their shirt over their mouth like that, that was like the handmade mask back in the COVID days. Yeah. Oh, you want me to put a mask on? Sure. Yeah. This is FDA approved. That is not like I feel totally comfortable in the cold.
No.
There's a couple ways you got to do it. You just got to wear a long sleeve shirt and suck it up. If you go too far either way, like Mike McDaniel when he wore the T-shirt that said "I wish it was colder."
That's not bad.
That shows the cold is in your head. And then if you go the other full scuba outfit, that also shows that the cold is in your head. You have to find a middle ground where it's like, hey, it's cold. I'll wear warm clothes. Anything extreme, cold's in your head.
I only bring this. Is it on me right now?
Back to you, CJ. What do you like for this last game?
I was just going to say, I only bring this up, the cultural war, because ESPN makes this Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll say it is a stereotype with them in the cold. I remember high school football, though, our players that would wear like blue jeans under their pants and stuff like that, like full on jeans and hoodie sweatshirts.
Different game.
Right. Absolutely. They're not ready for that kind of cold. That being said, it should be a great MVP bout between Lamar and Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson in the cold is a bad thing, but I think Derrick Henry is such a difference maker.
Yeah,
and that they're not going to be able to just pick him apart, because they have to load the box. And just to watching Lamar create his own plays last week, I know it's Pittsburgh, and this thing hasn't not hit since week 11. Lamar Jackson over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Oh, okay.
So 2 passing touchdowns for Lamar Jackson. Just the way he creates his own plays and the time back there, that's just always live.
Yeah, I mean, you see it too in his anytime touchdown pricing is plus 190 right now for him to score a touchdown on the ground. I do think it's almost like it's back to that proving a point.
Yeah, for sure.
To everyone that he can do, and he's doing a good job of it too. I guess that's part of it too. Doesn't have to take the hits. He can let Derrick Henry take the hits, and then he passes them.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
he's a true quarterback now, not like those people when he came in the league and said he was a running back.
No, to me, I do like the Bills. I'm on the Bills, but if that Bills bet goes bad, I think it's because of Derrick Henry, and then setting up easy passing stuff for Lamar.
I'd also point out that I think the angle you were attacking is the same with. I think Lamar will run a lot.
Yeah,
I think he'll get a lot of yards, a lot of attempts, because it will be there. I think
and also
that linebacking core being a weak spot.
Yeah. Well, also too, there is this, as CJ said, the culture war. There is this like battle for who is the guy. And I feel like in those situations,
Josh Allen scores an early touchdown.
Sure.
You don't think Lamar?
Yeah, they're gonna
Lamar's
go back.
coming back off the top rope.
I'd take both. I think it's anytime and over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Like I said, this is you have to go back to week 11. Last time this did not hit.
Jenny May in the chat pointing out a Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson anytime touchdown parlay
Like that.
plus 458.
Do the narrative.
DraftKings promo code SGP. All right, let's talk a little Underdog Fantasy. UnderdogFantasy.com promo code SGPN. Get in over there. Get your 50% deposit match up to $1,000. I mean, hopefully this is in everyone's lobby. I don't want to speak for everyone's lobby, but I got a 50% profit boost sitting in my lobby.
See, Sean has to flex on us. He's got to let us know. He's in the VIP program.
I just want you to know there's a lot of pressure on this entry.
Can I alert the listeners on something? I have discovered that there's a channel within the Underdog Discord that sends out, hey, next 20 people to do X get blah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So again, another reason to make sure you get in there, sign up for their special boost list. And then I also have a 50% boost. Oh yes.
Let's go.
But
a lot of pressure,
but also find the channel where they're giving out those flash sales, because I was able to get in and I got a 60% profit boost yesterday. It expired like 60 minutes after I got it, so I had to play it on some dumbass basketball. I lost. Don't worry, I lost.
All right, Ryan. First fantasy entry that we're going to be putting in Underdog. What do you like?
Well,
let me take a look.
I like the idea of Nico potentially finding the end zone.
Or do we just keep it simple? I feel like we all like Schultz.
What's the number?
Sure.
Is the number good?
I thought it was
the projection good.
The fantasy projection number is 39.5. I also like his, I don't know, 3.5 receptions. I'm down to play anything, but where were you going? You want to play Nico?
I like his touchdown the best. Dalton Schultz, if we're gonna play anything.
You want to play Dalton Schultz higher? All right, Ryan's in. CJ, what do you got?
All right, let me take a look at some Underdog here. This is one I.
Let's go big game hunting, Sean.
Well, especially if we're getting this profit boost.
Oh, should we go spice? Is that what you're trying to say?
Come on, it's the playoffs.
Yeah, whatever you want to do, CJ. Whatever you want.
All right, well, let me switch it up there. I was going to give the dullest of dull plays, but now let's.
Now, Sean, I'd also throw out that we could play the Schultz fantasy projection if you'd like.
Okay, what is that set at?
7.15. So half point PPR. He gets what's his projection? 3.5. So he gets 4 catches for 40 yards. We're at 6 points still. But yeah, I don't like that. Let's do the touchdown.
I forget you can ladder it and juice it up thing.
Oh yeah,
sure.
you can make anything spicy.
All right, let's spice it up then.
I think they just call it adjusting the calculation of their projection.
I'll jump in.
Okay.
Kramer and we both like Jalen Hurts higher rushing yards, 37.5. CJ, can you co-sign that?
Yeah, of course, 100%.
Let's go.
There.
Well, if we want to diversify, would we prefer the rushing attempt? They have rushing attempt.
I know.
I like the yards because I think there's a chance he breaks one.
Whoa,
for 15
sacks taken 2.5.
Under on that.
What?
Sorry, lower.
Higher.
On Hurts?
You've been talking at nauseum about how he's turnover averse, which is leading him to take more sacks.
He doesn't take. He'll just run or.
How many times did he get sacked last game?
It's a good question. I don't think it was a ton.
Who are we talking about?
Hurts.
Oh, he took a fair share.
That's what I mean. He'd rather take a sack than
he likes taking that hit.
I'm pretty sure
2. He took 2.
Okay.
So
I would take the rushing yards.
all right, CJ. So we got Schultz getting in the end zone. We got Hurts 38 rushing yards at least.
At least 38 rushing yards. All right. I want to really spice this up.
All right.
I was going to give a very vanilla Stroud 3.5 rushing attempts.
Real quick, CJ. I don't want to interrupt, but did you know they have game high projections?
No.
Over a half game high rushing yards for Jalen Hurts is 8.58x spicy.
So basically, him to be the leading rusher in the game.
Yeah. It's the first time I'm seeing that. That's excellent.
That's wild stuff.
That's excellent.
What was Barkley's lowest of the season? I know you had like a 60-yarder one.
Yeah,
game, right?
that's probably not a good one to go after.
And shout out to Damien in the chat. Unpopular opinion: CJ Stroud over 14.5 rushing yards. I think a lot of pass attempts in this one.
It's not
Chris
unpopular
Jones.
at all.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
I was going to give out the attempts, but that's literally the only one you can't juice up or ladder. Like it has to stay at 3.5.
I don't mind just a CJ Stroud 3.5, or if you want to.
That's why I like the straight up play. I mean, he had 6 attempts for 42 yards last week.
Rush attempts 3.5.
He had 6. He had 6 rushing attempts last week. He had 6 to 2 weeks before that. When they played the Chiefs, he only had 2 for 23. But that pass rush, they create a lot of flushing out.
Yeah.
You know,
they're not going to be worried about him running.
No, they'll give him that.
But the spicy one I had, which is 3.24 higher, and that is Isaiah Pacheco, 69.5 rushing yards. I mean, I think he might be the feature back up here. He's got the more juice when it comes to it. And this is playoff
set
time.
at 40.5.
Yes.
And you're saying we alt it
up to 69.5 because it's 69.
Nice.
And it's 3.24.
Wow. So this is insane. Dalton Schultz, higher rushing receiving touchdown. Jalen Hurts, higher 37.5 rushing yards. Pacheco to get 70 rushing yards. This pays 77x.
Wait.
Well, that's with the 50% profit.
With the bonus. Yeah, I love it.
All right.
How do we not do that?
Okay, so I will be.
I'm banging on the. Let me get to the 69.5.
We are definitely entering this. UnderdogFantasy.com promo code SGPN 77x. I mean, that right there could.
Wow.
That price, while it is fantasy projections, that could qualify for a Degen parlay at 77x. Let's get it.
Is that a waste of a 50% boost?
No, absolutely.
I mean,
not.
we get a lot of them. It's
Right.
not like
No, that's great.
The boost fairy will come back.
And just to say how much I sign off from that Stroud rushing, if it wasn't for the apostrophe in that game, that was going to be my play. Stroud rushing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, CJ.
What can I do?
Contractually obligated.
My hands are tied
to play the Fairbairn stuff.
My hands are high me tied.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna drop it in the chat so everyone can play.
Nice.
Going back to the our ladder segment, we're going to kind of convert to a weekly leaders because obviously somewhat similar, some crossover there. But weekly leaders, Ryan, what are some of your, and DraftKings does have this.
So are we doing a ladder as well or no?
I think we'll just do weekly leaders.
Weekly leaders. Okay.
I think they.
You can save a ladder for the VC.
I was just going to say because there's not too many opportunities for them.
Well, they also they're kind of one of the, like to me, if you're laddering something that has a weekly leader market, you have to at least investigate the price. Same with the game leaders. And so, which by the way, these markets are fun because you can just stare at them and but I think so. The first thing you got to think about is who's going to be playing. Like, is there a world where we find that the Chiefs and Texans play a game where the Chiefs are leading the game by a couple touchdowns for most of it, and CJ Stroud is throwing the ball all over the yard? He led the league in yardage last week.
Really?
Plus 750 for him to do it again.
So now
they're down, like remember when they lost to the Ravens and they only scored 2 points, but
and so you're playing it for the whole weekend, correct?
Yes.
Because I was going to say, I think that's the way you play it if you like them, because the Sunday games, both weathery potential, and I don't think you're getting much by just playing.
Oh, I
only
see. In
Saturday.
terms of just playing Saturday,
100%.
So I would play the full game there.
Speaking of which, how about the bad beat we got on the Packers lowest total we did last week? And then the Viking Darnold ruined that on Monday.
That was so annoying.
It was like when Jameis came off the top rope.
Yeah,
took the yardage
from Russ.
Well, and shout out to my niece who I texted her. I go, "What do you like for the Eagles Packers game?" She goes, "Eagles 26, Packers 14."
Come on.
And so she nailed the exact margin. 12-point Birds
That's
win.
Insane.
I already hit her up for this week's play. I will release my niece's pick as part of the pregame show, so stay tuned.
I like how she goes for like the scorigami's too. Like she's like,
Well, 26-14.
Right,
She probably had a missed extra point there in her projection.
It's a very modern score. Actually.
She knows how Jake Elliott whirls,
and she knows how Sirianni likes to
go for two.
Right.
So then the other part of this bet is that it's paired with Jared Goff. So basically, by Jared Goff's plus 250, so Stroud's plus 750. Now the Goff angle kind of pairs.
So you're playing both. You said
pairs in with a ladder. His number is 270.5. like to me, you look at the weather games. If he just gets to his like projected total, he's probably leading, and he is the chalk, but he's still plus 250. And so in my mind, I don't see either game, like the Eagles game, completely thrown out. I don't think even in a comeback situation, Stafford's going to be able to throw for much. And I'm stuck on the fact that Lamar and Josh, like this is going to be a strangely underscored game with a lot of running of the ball. Both teams want to run the ball. So I'm pairing Jared Goff plus 250, CJ Stroud plus 750. I'm going to do a 3-to-1 ratio on the bet. So I'm inverting the bet just like the prices, plus 250, plus 750. And yeah, I think, you know, it's a fun little, I don't want to call it a hedge, but it's a fun little pairing because also to your point, like the weather that's definitely happening on Sunday, we're going to be in the clubhouse, get to sweat it out and do nothing for an entire day. That will be my big bet. I'm excited to see what the prices are when we get out to Vegas, Sean.
We'll definitely be getting down on some of that, I'm sure. Most receiving yards for Saturday only. I like Dalton Schultz at 30-1.
Oh,
just for Saturday.
What's his touchdown price? Do you happen to have that in front of you?
What do you? Oh, to lead,
like, to lead in touchdowns.
Did you see that? Because I don't think they. I think
you're
they
right.
Just
I was looking at I was
full,
looking at the playoff leaders. My mistake.
Yeah, that's the playoff leaders, which you could probably talk me into. Let's see what his.
But
Dalton Schultz to lead the playoffs in receiving touchdowns is 150-1. Now, you know, obviously if Texans win, that becomes way more live, and you would need him to get a couple, or again, like we said, he led last year with 3 touchdowns. That was right when he was still on the Cowboys. Kind of a crazy outlier there. So I'm going receiving yards, Dalton Schultz 30-1. And then Austin Eckler in that Commanders Lions game 70-1 most receiving yards. Him breaking a couple, screenplay, that kind of stuff. 70-1 just to lead for Saturday. Those are some fun long shots. Going over to Sunday most receiving yards. Dallas Goedert. He's had a couple big games, and maybe he gets like 110, and that's good enough for the Rams Eagles. And then we get some maybe run heavier game scripts in the Bills Ravens.
Sean, you might want to consider altering your Dalton Schultz play.
Okay,
you can eliminate the Lions game and drop his price to 13-1.
Oh, just for the game?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
In some ways, I think like that actually is a really interesting proposition because
what's the play?
Instead of saying most yards on Saturday, where you have to defeat the Detroit-Washington game,
right?
Which is, obviously there's the potential for insane explosions there.
Yeah, no, good call.
You box it in just to the game. You obviously pay a little bit of a premium, but it's not much if you consider, what was it, 30-1?
Yeah, so I'll go 13-1 with Schultz in just that game. Good call. Give some people some realistic ladders, as CJ likes to call them.
Well, and that's
we gotta make resolutions.
But think of it this way: like, what is his 100-yard price compared to what is his 13? This is not a game where I expect to see a 100-yard receiver. I think that would be somewhat outstanding. And so, again, when you're building these ladders, like just don't worry about going all the way to the top step. Just take the game leader. You can even do a game leader, weekly leader, little step ladder too.
I like that.
Yeah.
Last one for me. Most rush yards in the divisional round. Saquon Barkley plus 170. It's chalky, but who's beating Saquon?
So he's minus 280 in his own game.
Yeah.
Gibbs is the favorite in that game.
But now
he's a nice number. Wasn't he like
Mixon,
550 for the weekend? Gibbs? Yeah.
I'll say this to your earlier point. Mixon's the favorite in the Texans game to lead the game in rushing yards. Like,
no
what
sense.
am I? 3-1 Pacheco.
That's what I mean. Pacheco.
But yeah, I mean, back to your point, Sean. That's a good price relative to where his game number's at. Like he's going to defeat his entire game. I'd imagine he's chalk for Sunday. Versus Derrick Henry, even
right.
And so you're basically saying, can he defeat Gibbs and Mixon and Pacheco? So that does not seem like a hard.
Well, and to the Gibbs stuff, which I would normally like, but David Montgomery, Ryan, I think you tweeted out off the injury report.
That's crazy that he's completely off of it.
Yeah, so I imagine they're gonna, them running the rock with both those dudes a bunch and just daring the Redskins to stop them.
I got to be honest, Sean. Saquon being plus 115 for Sunday only, that is amazing. That's this is a ladder I would play right here. We might be jumping in a little Saquon action. Although my kids will tell me I'm a traitor. I can't do it. I can't be called the T word. I would play that if I were you.
The what? The plus 170 for the full game, or what did you say?
No, I would if you like the plus 170, I'm also playing plus 115 for him to win Sunday.
Okay, yeah.
What's Cook?
Cook is 13-1.
That's cool. That's pretty nuts.
That's an interesting buyback there.
Yeah.
build a nice.
This is
little
the problem we
portfolio.
have CJ on. We just keep adding bets.
This is the problem with these markets.
conversation.
It's like, well, I like all these. Like the prices seem to match my interest level.
You can talk yourself into a lot of these guys at their prices. CJ, what do we like weekly leaders?
First, I don't see a problem here,
Yes.
but and if you do see a problem, as I like to say after the disclaimer when I do the ad reads, not all problems need solved.
Oh,
they don't need to be fixed every problem.
Yeah.
If you have a problem, it's okay just to acknowledge it, and just move on from there. I kind of learned my lesson with these games. I almost like just kind of doing the last game for the weekend just to have the sweat going.
Now we're talking.
You're not,
CJ,
right.
you're not defeated.
Yeah, I just want to extend the pleasure as we like to do with the pleasers,
In that rushing prop for Sunday.
Yep.
Or I'm sorry. If you
All of them. I like every one of them.
But the Lamar, you could get Lamar.
Yep.
And Josh Allen.
I got Lamar at 30-1.
Oh my God.
To win the weekend in rushing.
Yep.
I got Cook at 20-1.
Oh. You know what? Josh Allen's 50-1.
I mean, what are we talking about here? And if you want to have a little fun, which I will, I'll sprinkle a little bit up there if I can get in the right state and regulation. I do think it's a nice tight end week. With Zay Flowers, I'd be tough to see if he does give it a go. I think Mark Andrews is going to have a nice game. He's 50-1 for receiving for the weekend. I'm also going to be on Dalton Kincaid.
Interesting.
A team that has no receiver, sometimes those tight ends with talent can come up 130-1. At least I have a sweat coming into it. I mean, and he's got the talent to break some of those like for long runs. And just a weekend where 80, 90 yards can do it too.
Kincaid or Knox? Because even last week, Knox got the red zone target.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. They're splitting. But Kincaid has more ceiling, I think, for yardage. If you're going to talk about trying to lead the league in
This is a
target. Well, last week 3 and 3.
Knox is more of a reception guy, I would think, and Kincaid is more yardage.
No, I mean Kincaid's the guy that randomly could pop up because of the way they play a ton of man coverage in Baltimore.
Damian in the chat. Shout out to Damian. Give me a Dawson Knox touchdown ladder. Love this angle. Plus 550 for 1, 80-1 for 2. What are we missing, Ryan?
Were you in the time machine watching the VSiN show last week when I gave out the two big TDs with Dawson Knox at 80-1?
I would run it back. I still think it's live.
Good call.
And Damian put a little heartbreaker there, how he slipped in the end zone for the first touchdown. Josh Allen missed him on that.
It wouldn't have been the first touchdown in the game.
Oh yeah, first touchdown for the Bills though.
It would have been the Bills' first touchdown. Of course, Troy Franklin scored that anomalaic touchdown.
That bomb from Bo Nix, and I was celebrating. I'm like, we're doing it.
I did.
Believers unite.
CJ, I did say that they weren't going to score another point.
He did, and I said I'll take that bet. And
wow.
Luckily, I didn't. Ryan didn't take me up on it. So
tough missed field goal on that one.
Yeah.
So yes, we got the weekly leaders. Closing it out here with a nice.
I'm a degenerate.
Parlay. Kramer, do you want to go first? What are you doing here?
All right, so I have small, medium, and large. There's been all this tight end talk, so I think I just have to go right to large.
Okay.
Everyone in our audience can do this. It's a $2 pizza. It's a literal $2 pizza bet that pays almost $40,000.
What? That's a Totino pizza roll bet.
Again, Sean, an actual $2
pizza bagel bet.
An actual $2 bet will pay almost $40,000. It's plus 1940521. So we're calling international.
That's a serial number. That's not a
all tight ends.
Vin number.
All touchdowns. Game 1, Kelsey and Schultz.
Done.
Game 2, Laporta and Ertz.
Done.
Okay.
Game 3, Godare and Higbee out of the hospital. A little tragic match. Game 4, Mark Andrews and Dawson Knox.
Wow.
That
if this hits, it'll be insane.
So $100 would pay about 1.94 million.
That is crazy.
It's a lot of pizza.
$100 bet just for eight guys to score a touchdown.
It doesn't seem crazy. It really doesn't.
But obviously the odds suggest that it is crazy.
Is Higbee playing, by the way?
Yes.
He was amazing in that first quarter.
By the way, if he's not playing, you just slide in Parkinson. He's got the same price.
Right.
So don't worry, the price won't move move on you.
Thank God.
Yeah. I did have other ones though.
That was large, right? You said you had small and medium as well.
I have small and medium. Small is actually a fun little piece I put together here. Just kicking this one around. Let's go. Game 1, Travis Kelce, Nico Collins.
Okay.
Game 2, Sam Laporta, Zach Ertz. So a lot of similarities there. Then we flip over to Sunday where I don't trust the Rams to score a touchdown. Only Jalen Hurts in the first one. Then Josh Allen, Mark Andrews in the second one. That one pays 100. It pays 50 grand. So that's the small one. $100 pays a mere 50 grand.
Barely seems worth it.
And then the medium, you just swap in Dalton Schultz for Nico Collins. And that pays 75 grand on 100. So, hello, Jeff Benson. I will be making some serious.
We'll be owning the circuit by the time the weekend's over, Ryan. For my Degen parlay, I'm with you on the tight ends. I'm gonna just narrow it to just the Texans Chiefs game. Dalton Schultz to get 2 touchdowns. Travis Kelce 2 touchdowns. 250 to 1.
But not even kidding. We need to
Kelce and Schultz.
Call the accounting department. $1,000 of research and development money needs to go on this.
I mean,
1,000.
You got to have petty cash lying around.
Is
You
that
could
too
do
big?
that, right?
Yeah.
Is that too big?
No, we'll definitely get down
100?
100. 100 at least.
200.
Maybe more. 200. 200. So we each get 25K.
That doesn't seem right.
No, this is.
We were crafting that earlier in the lab.
Yeah, Kramer and I were going back.
Sean
and
was
forth.
dabbling around with some other shit, and I go, "What about this?" And it's what?
I was considering putting in the alt line stuff, but the touchdown certainly feels a little safer than putting in some
just
alt
4
spreads.
touchdowns. Little worried the Texans aren't going to be scoring 14 points.
But they're it relies on the Chiefs being bad against the tight end. So
what's the price with just 1 touchdown?
Oh, you mean each of them?
Kelce scores 2. No, Kelce 2. Schultz 1. Almost like a ladder because you expect there to be more. Let me see. I got to clear out my shopping cart is very full right now.
Can we get in?
Well, as we speak, the Travis Kelce 2 touchdown stuff is going down. Everyone wait to bed until the show's over.
Release, set up, fake.
Fine. Throw it away. Let's invite Noah Gray to this party.
Okay.
Whoa. What are you doing? Do we?
Listen, I got plenty of Kelce shares. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
41 to 1. Kelce 2 touchdowns.
I've been a Noah Gray guy all year.
But no, you know what? Now we'll close this. I mean, I know we're trying to get out of here, but now that you bring that up, that's a great point. Dalton Schultz, Travis Kelce, and Noah Gray to all score touchdowns.
Yes,
60 to 1.
That seems more likely.
That's fun.
100%.
One of each.
One of each.
All right, we're gonna work up. Get some of those.
Can I toss my parlay out there real quick?
Yeah, sure. No, I was.
Jesus, CJ.
No, I was.
Is that what it looks like?
Wow. All right,
CJ, what do you got for your?
I'm
parlay?
usually looking down the barrel, not at the portrait, the side view.
Oh man, amazing!
This better be a fucking good parlay.
Amazing poker face. I was just doing my segment. I was passed over. That's all. I mean, we had small, medium, larges. We had 5 different sizes.
I wasn't even.
We're moving parts over here. You guys gave out 9 different parlays. I just wanted to throw one out there. That's all.
I was excited that I had come up with a $2 parlay that paid for.
It was great. It was fantastic.
No big deal.
And so
100 to win 2 million. No big deal.
I wasn't trying to be short with CJ.
Jesus.
In my head,
it was amazing.
I was workshopping.
Yeah, how did it come out in your head?
My Noah.
Do an impression of how that sounded in your head coming up.
Yeah, sure. It came out wrong.
We're very excited for an opportunity, a laddie daddy opportunity,
oh, man,
just like the
great.
AI in StreamYard.
This is great.
Grab the stick. Let's go. What are you doing, CJ?
Sean got 8 hours of sleep last night. Too.
No, I did not. No.
I'm 100% on fumes. Not only did I literally get no sleep last night, the day before, I told you the fire alarm went off in our building. False alarm. 6 in the morning. We're out there freezing cold. Not like everyone's on edge here in Los Angeles for fire alarms and having to flee and evacuate.
Real dick move.
Terrible move. And the managers weren't out there to be found. No email, no nothing. Anyway, point is, in honor of Easy, this is a parlay I've never done before.
Oh, interceptions,
but I liked his philosophy when we were breaking down what quarterbacks are going to throw interceptions. Like, well, if you think Mahomes is going to throw an interception, you might as well say Derek Stingley's going to get it.
Yeah,
and juice it up by like 7-1.
Yeah, I like that. It is a good theory.
Yeah, I love that theory. So it's Stingley, who had 2 picks last week, by the way, and Mahomes is very careless, obviously, with the ball. We'll start off with him, with Derek Stingley, to start us off with the interception at plus 580. And then in the night game, a lot of good Detroit options. I like Kirby Joseph. He's had his nose by the ball a lot of times.
I've heard that name before.
Yep. He's the cheap shot artist. He's the one who took out Hawkinson and everybody.
Like that.
Yeah. So I like that. You get in my parlay with that kind of reputation. He's even got a low number at plus 460. And then this is just a 3-teamer. And then we'll roll into the Sunday night if we need be. We already described the white on white. Let's go Cooper Degen to get it plus 582.
Let's go Coop.
As they try to force Cooper rush. Those 3 to get interception is 245 to 1. And then I suggest put that in and put the second one in. Same 3 guys. Add a 4th for the sweat roll in there. You're already free rolling. You already hit your 245 to 1. Let's see if we can get a 2042 to 1 by putting. By putting in comeback player of the year, DeMar Hamlin.
Oh,
the icing on the cake, end of the fairy tale.
Who does seem around a lot of overthrown balls. Like he's not like on the ball, but like if a bad like a Lamar ball gets kind of looks, he's right there, center field, out of position, easy pick. Yes,
he's due. And by the way, for those who have heard CJ before say the laptop is just for show, he's not actually using it. There's a notebook. There's a notebook
the
here.
CJ cam.
There's numbers. There's lines. I mean, I'm not going to show too much. I don't want people screenshotting it.
I'll show you the easy parlay right there. Yeah, these were the options for the weeklies.
I mean,
there you go.
Again, I don't want people to see too much.
Did you see the note? Go back real quick. Go to W on W. That's my Cooper Degen Cooper Cup. WW Cooper Cup.
The shorthand of white on white.
Absolutely.
Very good.
Damien also saying, is there a market out there for a Henry passing touchdown? Jump pass seems like it's coming this weekend.
I like that.
We get those for the Super Bowl. I don't know.
I feel like they offer a like an offensive lineman to score a touchdown, maybe, but I don't know if they have a non-quarterback to throw a touchdown in this round. Maybe conference championship.
The non-quarterback to throw a touchdown shows up for Super Bowl. I think
they maybe conference championship. They get pretty deep in 2 games.
These eyes have never seen it before.
All right. So yeah, we got a bunch of Degen parlays, the weekly leaders, our props, and appreciate everyone tuning in as always. Check out the Bottom Line Bombs with CJ Sullivan. We'll be back on VSiN 11 o'clock East, VSiN.com, YouTube TV, and Sirius now as well. Kramer, what is the Sirius channel number?
158.
158 nailed it. So if you have Sirius,
Jack Lambert,
I'm pretty sure.
Remember if always Jack.
By the way, yeah, they're launching on Friday because that's when Sports Gambling Podcast Live.
Oh.
And then maybe a bonus episode. We're supposed to record an interview, former NFLer, tomorrow morning. Knock on wood that goes through. So stay tuned to your feed. YouTube.com/subscribe.
Keep your head on that one. Is there a ribbon cutting for this? What's going on with the Celebrating the Sports Gambling Podcast Network?
Oh no. We were just
joking.
We're just joking that they made it for Friday because
I see, because you're going to be there.
Yeah, because they're like, hey, Laddie Daddy's going to be on the Sirius XM.
It's like how Andy Reid calls the good plays in the postseason.
Right, sure.
They wanted the good shows.
Or if your kid's got a birthday on 4th of July, these fireworks are for you.
Yeah,
exactly.
Happy birthday.
YouTube.com/Sports Gambling Podcast. Download the SGPN app completely free. All the picks, all the podcasts in one convenient place. And Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN as well. And as always,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
Slide into my DMs at Kramer Centric and let me know if you like large, medium, or small.
Kramer, let it ride.